Fire away.
Hi, my name is Beth Hall. I teach at Beebe High School in Beebe, Arkansas, and I'm reading question 2. And my tip for students is to make sure that you connect to the rhetorical situation, especially in your commentary.
Hi, I'm Tony Soltis. I teach at Toledo High School, Los Angeles, California. I'm on question 2 this year, and I have 2 pieces of advice. 1, stay away from the small things. Don't talk about dashes and commas and what those do. Look at the main ideas. Look at the big things they're doing. And 2, don't suppose you know what the audience is responding to. Don't say they put this in here and the audience was moved. You don't know. Just focus on what the writer or the speaker is doing.
Hi guys, my name is Joe and I'm from Upper Marlboro, Maryland. I teach at Dr. Henry A. Wise Junior High School, and I'm on question 1, the synthesis essay. My advice and things that I've seen this year, something that's very simple: make sure that you use at least 3 of the sources. You will not get more than 1 point if you only use 2 sources. Another thing, please make sure that your voice is evident. Do not let the sources make your argument, you make your argument. And that's my advice.
My name is Alicia Becker and I teach in Southern California. I am on question 1, synthesis this year. And my, I think number 1 recommendation is when you are using a quote, I understand that you guys want to save time, but do not put the first word, ellipses, last word, because we are grading on what you actually write, and then there's no coherence at all. And based on the rubric, we're looking at the connection between the evidence and the commentary. It will kill your score. And it broke my heart when I had students who had 1-4-1s, but because they did that, there wasn't enough connection between what was actually on the paper as evidence and commentary. I had to give them 1-2-1. It was sad. Don't do that.
Hi, I'm Katie Legg and I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana, and I teach high school, Lawrence Central High School. I'm on question 3, the argument question. And my advice for you is when you first read the argument question, you could see it as black or white, but what we really want you to do is elevate above that to find the nuance in the question. And also keep in mind, guys, that this is one test and it does not define you. Do your best and that's going to be fantastic.
Hi, I'm Jill and I teach English in Midlothian, Virginia, which is a suburb of Richmond, Virginia. And I am on question 1, the synthesis essay. And my first piece of advice for you is to pay attention to what's in the prompt. And if a word is spelled correctly in the prompt, that doesn't have to be one that you misspell. You don't lose points for it, but it definitely sort of makes an impression. Second thing, learn the difference between amount and number. Amount is for things you measure. Number is for things you count. Didn't they even hear that? The next thing, assume that you are writing to an intelligent audience. Like this year, the STEM question, you do not have to tell some of the best English teachers in the country what STEM stands for. That does not improve whatever original argument you're making. Have fun with the argument essay, that's my favorite, and do your best and you'll be fine.
My name is Kristen Bryant and I teach at Portland Community College in Portland, Oregon. And many of you will be going to teachers like me after you do the AP exam. And please know that whatever happens with the AP exam, you're gonna rock it, you know, because those scores do not define who you are. And the practice that you've had in these AP classes will have a tremendous impact on all of the things you do in college. So when you go home and you're anxiously awaiting for the results and all of those things, again, no, they don't define you. And that you've gone this far means that you're gonna be kicking some serious butt in the future.
Katie Legg from Indianapolis, Indiana, and I teach high school at Lawrence Central High School. And I have some advice about writing in general. It should be like a swimsuit. Long enough to cover the topics, but short enough to still be interesting.
Hi, my name is Frances Bracamani, and I'm from Lemoore High School in Lemoore, California, and I've been reading question 3, argument. And the number one piece of advice I would give you is if your teacher has given you a template, use it. We're paid to be here for a reason. Start with your claim, incorporate your concrete specific evidence, and then explain it very thoroughly with your commentary that ties it back to your claim and your line of reasoning. Thanks.
Okay.
My name is Genesis Ackerman. I'm from Overland Park, Kansas. I teach at Blue Valley North High School. Go Mustangs and go Chiefs. I am on question 3, and my best advice to give to you in writing question 3 is to elaborate on your examples. We see lots of examples that are very detailed, and then they don't say how or why that example is important and why it's connected to their thesis. And so we really don't have the opportunity to see what you think about the topic. You tell us a lot about your example, but then it just kind of falls flat. And we really can't give you the score we want to give you if you could just give us more information about why that example is important.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Garner, and I am from Hot Springs, Arkansas, where I teach at Lakeside High School. This year I read for question 2, the rhetorical analysis. And one piece of advice I'd like to give to you students, and that I give to my students as well, is just make sure after you have after you have provided the evidence, that you connect it back to the claim in your thesis. Keep coming back to that thesis. That's going to help establish your line of reasoning and keep that line of reasoning going throughout your essay.
Okay, go.
Hi, I'm Melissa Elliott from Martinsburg, West Virginia. I read question 1. One of the things I'd love to share with you about the reading is, remember, your reader is either an AP teacher or a college professor. They know the source, they know the prompt, they know what you've read. We want to hear from you. We want to hear your thoughts about it. We want to hear you connect your evidence together, not just repeating what they've said. The other thing, you can't just tell me something and tell me it's true. Your teachers may have talked to you about circular logic. You can't tell me something is true, so it's true. You gotta prove it. Thank you.
Just kidding. Oh my God, no.
Jimmy, so say my name and then where I'm from, and then what question, and then my tip.
Your name, where you're from, what school you teach at, because there's high school and college, they like to see it and all that kind of stuff. And a tip for the students.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay? Ready?
Yes.
All right, go.
I'm Stephanie Kirk from Maryville, Tennessee at Heritage High School, and my biggest tip would be whenever you go back and you want to add something in, make sure that you are very clear in where those annotations go. So maybe give them a number, like a footnote, but don't just draw lines because that gets really confusing.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, my name is Liz Hain. I teach in Minnesota, around the Twin Cities, Minneapolis, St. Paul. I am reading on question 2, so that's with Sonia Sotomayor. And what you really, really, really need to do when you read rhetorical analysis is you need to pay attention to a shift. Whenever a speaker is speaking, there's always, they start with one thing and then they shift to a different topic. And Sonia did that, or Justice Sotomayor did that, talking about her Latina identity, but then shifting to America. And that was so important that the upper level essays did a really good job acknowledging, but the lower level essays only stayed with her first part. So there's always a shift, a change in topic, a change in tone. Focus on that, because that's a big thing to pay attention to for the message or the purpose of the text.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Hi, my name is Kathy Manis, and I have been teaching AP Lang for like 9 years. This is my 3rd year as a reader, and this is my 2nd year on the argument prompt. So here's my thing. First of all, read every bit of the prompt very carefully. And also, you want to make your prompts stand out, because dude, we read so many of these essays that our eyes glaze over. So here's the thing. So first of all, if you absolutely, come up with a thesis. At least come up with a thesis, right? So if that's all you can do, do that, and then entertain us. Please entertain us, because at that point, we are our brains are absolute soup. So we want to be entertained. So please, just be honest, be entertaining if you can't come up with anything else, but also come up with a thesis. Peace out.
Hi, I'm Josie Price. I'm from South Carolina. One thing I would like to see in the essays is that they are written from a more broader context and to a broader audience, and use the word you pretty much never, because it takes on more of a preachy tone than a knowledgeable tone.
I'm Tim Freitas. I work at Whitensville Christian School, and I'm going to give you 2 tips. Number 1, it was really awesome when students would underline their thesis statements for me, so that I could just quickly pick up on those as I was scoring. But an actual writing tip is, when you're writing argument, make sure that you describe your evidence in a minimum of 3 sentences, but a maximum of 5. There you go.
Hello, my name is Catherine Stone, and I teach AP English Language in Marietta, California. And my tip for you is to trust your own voice. Your authenticity is going to go a lot further than anything you try to do to sound better than what you think you already are, because you are good enough. And so be clear, really put thought into what you want to say before you say it, and then be yourself.
Tell me when. Hi, my name is Tracy Fordham, and I teach at Lake Highland Prep in Orlando, Florida. And the best tips that I have for writers is to make sure when you're doing the synthesis essay in particular, you're entering a conversation, and that conversation is going to have 2 different points of view. So make sure that you look in the sources for what the tensions are between those 2 sides, potential polarizing sides, and use those sources to kind of converse with one another, where one might make a comment and another recognizes a fallacy in the comment that one source makes. So that's one of the things I think is really kind of important to recognize for the higher level essays. I also found that the thesis statements that were the better thesis statements, especially in the higher scoring essays, were thesis statements that were sometimes qualifying, but would say something like although, and make a concession, then state their position, and then added the word because at the other end with the rest of that answer. The so what, who cares of why the subject matter is even being discussed in the first place. That gave the writer a lot more to sort of tether back to from their body paragraphs. Also, higher order verbs. When you're doing things like rhetorical analysis or, especially rhetorical analysis, don't say uses or the author says. You can do better than that. Look for a couple and have them in your arsenal ready to go when you go to the right. So best of luck. Thanks.
Hello, Jeremy Kennedy from Greenbrier, Arkansas. For the most part, I read question 2, the rhetorical analysis this year. And the advice I'd like to give, if you are down to just a couple of minutes and you haven't written an essay, take a few seconds, look at the prompt, and get down an on-topic claim. Like for this year, Justice Sotomayor employs something. Do as much as you can in that time, because honestly, we're reading supportively. We want to give you that thesis point, and a 1 is better than a 0 no matter what. And if you have time for a full essay, the highest scores I gave this year are people who not only pointed out what was Sotomayor's message about her identity, but why that mattered. How did that fit into the larger context? That's how you go for that sophistication point. More so than trying to vary your sentence structure, which is also good. But why did it matter that she was talking about her identity? Those were the high scores for me. Good luck.
Ready? Hi, my name is Mike Maynard. I teach at Lecanto High School. I teach 3 sections of IB and 3 sections of AP. My biggest tip to you is, to all of you guys, if you're working on this test, make sure you use claim data commentary, especially when it comes to the synthesis essay. Do not start with a quote from one of the passages. Start with your own claim, then a quote, then commentary, and the commentary should be more than 1 sentence. Thank you.
My name is Pamela Walsh, and I teach at Valley High School in West Des Moines, Iowa. This year I read question 1. One of the biggest things that I see with synthesis would be students using the sources at face value instead of really listening to what they say and how it might interact with another source and how they contradict one another, and explicitly connecting that to their direct argument opposed to just using and embedding the main point of the source.
Okay.
All right. Hi, everybody. I'm Molly Weber. I teach in Newington, Connecticut. And I would say some of the better essays that I read this week took the ideas from the sources and extended them to a piece of evidence outside of the sources to kind of illustrate that idea a little bit more. So that's my tip for you.
Okay. Go.
Hi, my name's Dr. Thomas Tutt. I teach in Fort Worth, Texas. My advice is make your line of reasoning clear. If the reader can't see your line of reasoning, it's like it's not there. It's like it's not there. Use your thesis, use your body paragraphs, use your conclusion, whatever you can do, make that line of reasoning clear to us.
Okay.
Hello, my name is Reagan Kalaki, and I teach in Edmond, Oklahoma at Edmond Memorial High School, and I was on question 2, a rhetorical analysis. And my tip for all the students across the nation would be to, if you're going to analyze for a repetition, whether it's pronouns or single words, make sure you have plenty of insightful commentary as to why they are repeating things. That's pretty much it. Good luck to you guys, and good luck in your classrooms.
Okay.
Hi babies, my name is Kara Greenwood and I teach at Atlee High School in Mechanicsville, Virginia. I've been an AP language teacher for a long time, and what I can tell you is you're doing great. Keep being confident in your writing skills and your knowledge as you take the exam and as you tackle AP English language, and you're going to be great. You have the knowledge, you have the wisdom, your teachers are very well trained and they know what they're doing, so trust yourselves, trust your teachers, and do your best.
Okay.
Hi guys, I'm Tracy Webb. I'm very obviously from Texas. I teach at Centennial High School in Frisco. I read Q1 this week, and my best advice to you is if you don't have a lot to say, make sure you say it as impressively as you can and then cut it off. Had lots of kids who wrote really good essays and then wrote themselves into a lower grade. Make sure that when you say what's important, then you stop.
Hey guys, my name is Sean Queen. I teach in Hot Springs, Arkansas at Lakeside High School. My advice for you is you can be as brilliant as possible, but if we can't read that handwriting, it's not going to do us any good. So, I'm not saying spend an hour because you got 40 minutes, but please make it legible so we can give you the best possible score, the one you earned. Good luck.
Okay, go.
Hi, AP English language students. My name is Kelly Cease, and I teach at Raymore Peculiar High School in Kansas City, Missouri. And my advice is to you is to take a deep breath. Just realize you've been working on this all year long. And as AP readers, we are rooting for you. We take our time and we really want you to have success. So,
okay.
Hi, my name is Professor Luann Kateri from Austin Community College. Here is a couple of tips. First of all, when you're doing the synthesis essay, avoid starting your paragraph off with source A says, paragraph 2, source B says. Don't do that. Instead, try to integrate the source information into your paragraph, because the sources are not, they're there to work for you as opposed to you having to work for them. And my second piece of advice is, if you want us to read what you wrote, don't use flare pens, okay? Thank you.
All right, hey, I'm Jonathan Wright, and I teach at Boulder High School in beautiful Boulder, Colorado, and I've been reading the AP exam for the past 7 days. And I think one of the best pieces of advice I could give you is focus on your commentary. Your commentary is where you make or break your writing, whether it's rhetorical analysis, synthesis, or argument. That's where you show up. So make sure that you're really commentating on, what is the significance of the piece, the so what, and connecting it back to your thesis so that it becomes really clear for the reader what is significant about your thinking compared to the thousands and thousands of other students' thinking that we read through. So focus on that commentary, make it work and make it happen, and excite your readers, and you'll do great.
Hi, my name is Toni Krashasky, and I teach in Norfolk, Virginia. And my advice to all of the students and teachers is please don't teach ethos, pathos, and logos as terms. Teach them as credibility and emotion and logic, and work with it in your commentary, because when you use it as claims, it doesn't work for you.
Hi, I'm Eleni Babcock. I teach in Virginia Beach, Virginia, and I did the synthesis prompt this year. So please make sure that you answer the how, the so what, and the why when you're creating your commentary about the sources. Stop listing sources and making that your argument.
Hey, my name's Ashley Hutchinson and I teach at J. H. Rose High School in Greenville, North Carolina. And my advice to you is that it is a lot easier for a reader to tell where your claims begin and end if you will put them into paragraph form instead of just having one big clump of an essay.
Hi, my name is Kara Greenwood. I teach at Atlee High School in Mechanicsville, Virginia, and my advice to you this year is when you write your argument essay, write about what you know. Use evidence that is specific and that talks about things that you already know about. If all you know is the Kardashians, then you write about the Kardashians and you make it work for the prompt.
Hey, I'm Annie Burridge, and I'm from Emerald Isle, North Carolina, and I teach AP English Language and Composition at Laurel Spring School. So this year I read question 1, the synthesis prompt, and I guess my advice to writers would be let your voice be heard. You are in the driver's seat with this argument. So yes, you can bring in the sources to develop your own argument, but have your own position and you'll do well.
All right, my name is Mr. Dominy. I teach in Dallas, Texas, and I have a very simple thing for you to remember, okay? When you're writing, all you have to do is ask yourself questions. You have to get used to asking yourself questions. So when you put a period at the end of a sentence, you need to ask yourself a what question, a why question, or a how question. If you can answer that question, that means that you haven't said enough. And so you need to answer it then. Then whenever you get to the point where you don't need to answer any more questions, then you have written what you need to write, okay? So remember, how, what, why.